Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. Tonight we're going to be talking about 3 classic rock albums, and of course those albums are going to be Deep Purple's wonderful new album released earlier this year, Equals One. I've already done a couple of videos on this. You guys know that I am very impressed with this album. Another album we're going to be talking about tonight is by Jon Aneserson, formerly the lead singer of Yes, now with the band Geeks, and his great True album. But another album we're going to be covering tonight wasn't even released in 2024 as these first 2 albums were. And of course I'm talking about Fleetwood Mac's wonderful Rumours album. Now I've got a question for all of you folks. Which of these 3 albums I just mentioned charted the highest in the year 2024? All right, so first of all, why would I even mention these 3 albums together in a video? After all, 2 of them are 2024 releases, and the other, well, a classic rock masterpiece from days gone by. To understand what I'm talking about, we have to turn our attention to an article from UCR, aka Ultimate Classic Rock. And in this article, they discuss, basically album sales in 2024. All right, and album sales specifically dealing with rock and roll. And the best way to get into this is just start with the very first sentence of the article. Here it says that the best-selling rock album of 2024 is 47 years old. Now it goes on to say, in a year dominated by pop, country, and hip-hop, Fleetwood Mac's Rumours album from 1977 was the highest charted rock album on Billboard's 2024 year-end chart, landing at number 34, just 1 spot ahead of Elton John's 2017 Greatest Hits collection. Now it goes on to say just 29 of the top 200 albums on Billboard's year-end 2024 chart were from rock artists. Now besides Rumours, the only non-compilation rock albums to make the chart were Nirvana's Nevermind, a great record, AC/DC's Back in Black, another classic, Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory, and Sublime's self-titled 1996 album. Taylor Swift earned the top 2 spots and 4 of the top 10 spots, hitting number 1 with her latest album. Of course, the list is filled out with Creedence Clearwater's Chronicle, Queen's Greatest Hits, Bob Marley's Legend, Nirvana finally coming up there, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' Greatest Hits, Journey's Greatest Hits, Greatest Hits, Greatest Hits, Greatest Hits, Greatest Hits. You know, folks, basically what I'm seeing here is the result of what I've talked about many times on this channel. The problem of when bands become brands. No wonder we are seeing corporations gobbling up discographies, buying up their musical catalogs, because this is what has resulted from bands like Foreigner. Not a single member on that stage is from Foreigner, all right? They all came in long after the greatest hits were ever recorded for that band. And the same thing goes for many other bands as well. And even bands that have original members are guilty of doing the same thing. They are constantly on tour, they are constantly not making new music, and they are constantly regurgitating their hits for the next generation. And a lot of that next generation, the younger listener, they like rock, but they've heard the hits and they want the hits. And so we have seen the rock concert audience actually evolve, or should I say devolve, to a state of nothing more than wanting their TV dinners right on time. Back in the day, of course, concert goers would listen to anything. They were there for the total experience. Yes, having a big name band up on stage was a big deal, but the big name bands often wouldn't even play their biggest hits. They'd go into these long, extraordinarily magical jam sessions, and the audience was there for the total experience. Now, what we have are people paying exorbitant prices to go see these people, and these people are just regurgitating the same old hash crap. Now, the reason I brought up those 3 albums to begin this video was to make a point. Deep Purple's Equals One is as good as basically anything that Deep Purple has released, with the exception of maybe 3 or 4 of their top albums. I mean, this thing is a great piece of music, and Jon Aneserson's True album with the band Geeks is the closest thing that I can compare to 2023's wonderful release, Mirror to the Sky, by, again, Yes. Now, these 2 bands back in their heyday, they put out an album. It was just the fact that they put out an album guaranteed them a slot in the top 10. These days, they can't even get into the top 200, but a 47-year-old, granted, masterpiece by Fleetwood Mac can. You know, this problem doesn't come from just those rock concerts I was talking about, folks. This comes from streaming. All right? This comes from the ability to make playlists, and people are used to hearing music out of order. Like I said, it's a different type of audience today. And the bands are just jumping at this opportunity, selling their musical catalogs at a whim. Pink Floyd being the latest band to cash it in, call it a day, as far as their musical catalog is concerned. So what does all of this mean? Does this kind of pretty much signal the end of rock and roll? Well, no. I've said this before. Jazz had its heyday, it's still being played, and has its aficionados right up into this day. So there is a future for rock and roll. Now, is there a possibility that rock and roll could ever regain the status that it once had? Well, it's starting to look a little less likely these days, in my opinion, but that doesn't bother me either, because we have thousands of wonderful albums supplied to us. The music is there. It's there to be discovered either for the first time or rediscovered after years of not listening to that music because you've been busy trying to keep up with newer artists and everything. And as your collection grows, it's harder to pay attention to specific albums that you used to when you were, say, 15 years old and you had a total of 25 or 50 records to begin with. So my question for the tribe tonight is basically this. Is rock and roll dead? I want to hear from all of you on this one. If you agree, let us know why. If you disagree, the same holds true for you. Now, if you enjoyed my video tonight, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up. That's going to help get the thing seen by more people. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel as of yet, that's easy. All you have to do is hit that subscribe to the tribe button, tap that top bell icon, and you'll be notified of all my future videos. All right, I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line. The bottom line as I see it. The bottom line for this video changes in the comments, because it's in the comments where you guys show that we are the tribe.